Welcome back, Sebastian here. So first Formula E race of the season in the books, Mexico ePrix. Not the best ePrix I have to say, but I'm honestly not too surprised given how difficult overtaking has been the past couple years. So we'll start right away. So Verline on pole, Buemi second. For some reason I would assume some kind of technical issue. Sergio Sedicama did not start the first ePrix of the season, so not a great sign for ERT, and there would be other signs as well that show this doesn't look like it will be a great season for them. The start's pretty even, not a whole lot of changes for position, but Fines has a very, very bad start due to some kind of technical issue, and he falls well outside the points. I believe Jake Dennis as well made up quite a few positions, was up into, I believe, the top 10 at the start as well. Nato went a bit wide at turn 1, and Fenestraz went a bit wide at turn 4, but neither of them lost a ton of positions there. Degrassi goes off at turn 12, hits the barrier. Looks like he basically just outbraked himself, but it turns out that it seems that it was some kind of brake issue, as he would retire a couple laps later because of that. Lap 3, Mueller is hit by DaCosta while DaCosta was trying to overtake him, basically go down the inside of turn 3. I think Mueller could have given him a little bit more room, but then that being said, usually the onus is on the driver making the overtake. Mueller is able to continue, but DaCosta has to retire the car with front wing, and I would just expect front suspension damage as well. Verline and Buemi exchange the lead with both drivers taking their first attack mode. Lap 5, Verline was under investigation for basically using too much power, and this was something usually with these kinds of investigations we see a result pretty quickly, but here we didn't really see anything throughout the entire race, so I don't know if that's something that's going to be looked at later. If it is, usually they're pretty slam dunk penalties, and as of the recording of this video, nothing's changed, so I've just reported the results as they finished. But usually with these things they're pretty slam dunk penalties, so watch out for something being announced after the race. Lap 8, cars were saving a lot of energy, and the top two, so Buemi and Verline, had a bit of a gap to the drivers behind them. Lap 9, Fines then crashes in turn 17 at the exit of the stadium. It looks like he basically brushed the Mahindra as the Mahindra was taking attack mode, but I don't really think it did anything unless it gave him a puncture or something, but it basically looked like he just lost it on his own. And then just kind of oversteered into the barrier. Get a full course yellow, but because of the location of Fines' car, it then changes to a full safety car. Safety car comes in end of lap, and I guess start of lap 12. And on the restart, we have cars just going 2 by 2, and not really any overtakes of note there. Lap 20. A whole lot of laps without really any action really of note. Gaps are starting to form, and there was trains kind of forming behind Evans as well as Sam Bird. Lap 21, we finally have some kind of overtake for position that wasn't through the attack mode, and that was DeVries overtaking Ticktum for P15, and then Ticktum would be passed later by Deruvila and Mueller. Lap 25, Verline starts to pull away from Buemi, about a 2.2 second gap. At that point, lap 28, Evans was starting to fall back from Cassidy and Gunther, so this is where we see that which drivers are able to conserve energy a bit more, as some drivers were not able to keep up with the pace of the leaders, Evans being one of those drivers. And then Jeb with 1.5% more energy at this point, we're starting to put a lot of pressure on Evans, but because it's so difficult to overtake in Mexico City, not really able to get a move done. Bird, lap 30, Bird basically suddenly dropped 3 positions. We never saw a replay of it, but he suddenly went from 11th to 14th. And at this point it was announced that we'd have 2 added laps, basically because of the laps we had under the full course yellow in the safety car. Lap 35, there was about a 2% power difference across the field, so everyone was very, very close on energy. And the final lap, Dennis had the most energy available, but because he was stuck in one of these trains, he wasn't really able to use that extra energy. Verline takes the checkered flag, and Cassidy gets the fastest lap as well. So, taking a look at your result for your first ePrix of season 10, Verline takes his 5th win of his career. Very, very strong result. Of course, because qualifying was so important, of course, he basically got that result from qualifying, and basically converted that pace, was just able to convert that pace during the ePrix. Buemi takes second place, really strong podium for him, and then Cassidy in third on his first race with Jaguar. Gunther, another really strong drive for him in fourth, fifth Evans, sixth Jev, seventh Hughes, eighth Van Dorn, ninth Dennis, 10th Nato, 11th Roland, 12th Fenestraz, 13th Mortara, 14th Bird, 15th Ruiz, 16th Arugula, 17th Muller, 18th Ticknam. Your three DNFs were Frines, DaCosta, and Degrassi, and then of course Hadi Camera did not start. For your Drivers' Championship order, Verline 28 points, 1 point off the maximum, 10-point lead over Buemi with 18. Cassidy, of course, gets the extra point for fastest lap, 16 total. Gunther 12, Evans 10, Vern 8, Hughes 6, Van Doren 4, Dennis 2, and Nato with 1. And then your other drivers all have 0 points. So, to finish up this video, 3 big talking points from the ePrix. I think the first one, pretty self-explanatory. Little overtaking, very little overtaking. The same thing that we saw last year, but you know, rest of the races last year ended up being pretty good in the end. So I think this race is simply not representative of what we normally see. So I think when we go to Delia in 2 weeks' time, we'll have, you know, more normal Formula E. I really wish they could do something with the layout to kind of promote overtaking, because I think it's pretty clear that with the Gen 3 car, the current layout that they use just doesn't really work. So it'd be nice if they could, you know, come up with something better for next season. Number 2, I think status quo. We see the Porsche win, Envision second, Jaguar third. Those are basically 3 of the 4 strongest teams that we saw last year. Of course, Gunther, really strong result in the Maserati with the DS powertrain. But for the most part, it looks like the status quo from last year has basically is what we have, which is kind of what I expected. Of course, the Andretti's are a bit low, but I think they just had a really unfortunate qualifying and then weren't really able to use their efficiency in the race. So yeah, I think it's basically going to be a title fight between the same 4 teams that we saw last year. You know, maybe the Maseratis and maybe the DS Penske's can get involved as well, but I think it's really going to be that 4-team fight that we had last year. And then I think last thing I'll mention is just mistakes. Quite a few mistakes from drivers throughout the field. Of course, Frines with his mistake, and then DaCosta and Muller with, well, I guess, yeah, DaCosta, you know, crashing into Muller there. So a couple mistakes with the field. I think obviously a bit of rust there. You know, not the best ePrix. Of course, we'll see if Verline holds on to the win, or if he's given some kind of penalty for that, using too much energy. I'll probably try to wait and hold on for the result of that before I do my power rankings, which of course will be published, I think, tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.